It was inevitable, guys and gals. It was inevitable that Berserk would receive another anime series, you know. I just never expected it to be a studio that, you know, so far only produced one, like, I guess, fan animation type alternate ending to this other popular anime known as Shinogeki. I think it's Shinogeki no Requiem, which again is an alternate ending to the Attack on Titan story from what I read. But Studio Eclypse, and ironically, you know, the Eclipse part of their name, it actually is a event in the Berserk story arc, also known as the Advent. Berserk fans will know what I mean, but it was inevitable that, you know, Berserk would be adapted yet again in anime format. I personally love the 2016 and 2017 animes, which are actually my favorite animes ever. And yes, guys and gals, it's a very controversial opinion to say the least, but hey, to each their own. And honestly, I never gave a damn about, like, you know, visuals, aesthetics, and what do you say, the animation and shit. No, I only care about the storytelling, and whilst I may praise the visuals, animations and what have you, the story does come first and foremost for yours truly. And I am quite surprised, but not really so surprised that a Berserk anime was made so soon. But again, it was inevitable, guys and gals, it really was. And many are guaranteed to be excited by this news and what's to come with Berserk. And based on the title, you can assume one of two things. One, the story will be like, you know, a faithful adaptation of the manga, and by that I mean it's going to adapt the very first chapter of the manga, the very first story arc actually of the manga, which is the Black Swordsman arc. It's what sets up, like, you know, the stages for the origin of Guts and the Band of the Hawk, his meeting with the Band of the Hawk, or as they're known in the manga as the Falcon, you know, the Band of the Falcon, because, you know, the translation over in Japan and in the US or the Western regions, it's very different, but they like translated the you know, the name of the band from the Falcon to the Hawk. But either ways, the Band of the Falcon are going to cross paths with Guts, who then was just a wandering mercenary, and they would come together after losing to Griffith. And at first, you know, he's not really keen on being a part of this band, but eventually they would become his, you know, one true family until, of course, the Advent. This is where, like, Studio Eclypse come into play, and they're adapting the story. I'm guessing that it's not going to be just like, you know, the Black Swordsman story arc, but they will probably adapt the early chapters of the Golden Age arc, which is a follow-up to the Black Swordsman arc. As soon as Guts slays the Count, you know, guys and gals, I'm really excited at the idea of Berserk, the anime adaptation, this new anime adaptation of Berserk, being faithful to the manga, not so much in regards to the visuals, because again, I don't give a fuck about the visuals, the animation and what have you. No, I care solely about the story and certain characters and chapters from the story being adapted. And this, guys and gals, is no contradiction on my part. I don't mind the Lost Children story arc being excluded from the manga. You know, the Lost Children chapter actually from the manga, which is from the Conviction story arc of Berserk. And I don't mind it because when you really think about it, how big of an impact did the story or chapter had on Guts' journey as a whole? Not really as big as the Black Swordsman arc, because the Black Swordsman arc was to establish Guts as this very dark and brooding and very anti-hero-esque character who has gone through some serious trauma that it made him cold and ruthless and almost heartless. But by the end of that chapter, which Puck, the fairy Puck, he would come to see a very vulnerable and damaged side to Guts, as he sees Guts crying, actually crying, especially after what he says to this young girl. And it's very haunting, to say the least. I mean, Guts has been through some serious, you know, trauma, guys and gals, and think of anything everything any man or whoever has ever gone through in life, and Guts has been through it, man, and he has seen some things that none could possibly imagine, but he has come through it and has endured so much, and he will continue to endure and struggle because that's his path, guys and gals. That's his fate, to endure, survive, and to ensure that he gets his revenge and he gets some form of redemption. But yeah, guys and gals, I'm not as excited as many are, but I really hope to God that Studio Eclypse remain faithful to the manga, and that means including the scenes with the Princess Charlotte leading the Band of the Hawk members, the key figures, to the torture chamber where Griffith is being tortured in, and how she would go on to explain the story of King Geiserek, aka the Skull Knight, and his origin, which Guts believed to just be a fairy tale, but Princess Charlotte, she believes in it. Also, the most important chapter, the fight between Guts and Wild the Apostle. This fight, guys and gals, it's so important for so many reasons, and one YouTuber has uploaded a video on why Wild matters. I'm going to link his video, a playlist of 3 videos he uploaded. It's a very well done series of videos. He truly does matter, Wild that is. Wild's character represents so many things, and it not only explains how Guts' sword ended up being broken and why he didn't have his fucking sword in the, Advent, the Eclipse. Wild, he represents something in the grander scheme of Berserk on the nature of evil, and how those who are filled with greed and abuse their gifts, they use their powers over others. Wild, he represents that. He represents the most despicable and vile evil within man, and it's a very important part of the Berserk story, especially when it pertains to Guts' evolution as a character and what he's willing to do to survive and to win and to kill as many apostles, including the God Hand. And we see how Guts went from struggling against the likes of Zod, Nosferatu Zod, and Wild to taking on many apostles at once. And it goes to show again that this fight with Wild has increased his experience when it comes to facing an apostle, and how he's able to take them on with not much shock or fear. And that's the importance of Wild, one of many importance on Wild and why he matters. But yeah, guys and gals, Studio Eclypse, if they truly want to do justice to the manga and to Miyoro Kantaro, and especially the fans of Berserk, they best do one thing: remain faithful to the source material. That's it. But yeah, guys and gals, thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please like, comment, subscribe if you wish. Do check out my gaming channel where I do Let's Play series, gaming contents, and so much more. Until next time, peace out, take care, adios amigos, au revoir, and sayonara.